Imagine for a moment that you're standing in the middle of a vast, echoing chamber. The walls are built from the words and silences of your childhood, sharp edges of criticism, the cold weight of dismissal, the invisible bruises left by someone who was supposed to protect you. You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache that never quite leaves, even in your brightest moments. It's the hidden pain of emotional abuse in youth, the kind that doesn't leave visible scars but carves deep grooves into your soul. And here's the core paradox that traps so many of us. The very armor you forged to survive that abuse, the self-doubt, the hypervigilance, the instinctive withdrawal, now turns inward, becoming the blade of self-sabotage that undermines your every step toward freedom. You know this feeling intimately. Perhaps it started with a parent's cutting remark, disguised as tough love, or the constant invalidation of your emotions, making you question if your pain was even real. In those formative years, you learned to shrink, to doubt, to preemptively punish yourself before anyone else could. It saved you then, didn't it? By dimming your light, you avoided the storm. But now, in adulthood, that same mechanism whispers lies in your ear. You're not good enough. Don't try. You'll fail anyway. It's a cruel irony, the survival strategy that shielded your young heart has evolved into a saboteur, robbing you of joy, relationships, and potential. And yet here you are, seeking understanding because deep down, you sense that this pain isn't your fault, nor is it your fate. Let's peel back the layers together, step by step, and expose the roots of this hidden torment. By the end, you'll see not just the wound, but the path to reclaiming your wholeness. Now let's ground this in the psychological foundations that make emotional abuse such an insidious force. Emotional abuse in youth isn't just about harsh words or neglect. It's a systematic erosion of a child's sense of self, often perpetrated by caregivers who project their own unresolved traumas. Psychologically, this falls under the umbrella of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or C-PTSD, a condition coined by trauma expert Judith Herman to describe the pervasive effects of prolonged interpersonal trauma. Unlike single-event PTSD, C-PTSD rewires the brain's threat detection system, leaving the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, perpetually on high alert. Imagine your nervous system as a garden overrun by weeds. The seeds of abuse plant deep roots, choking out healthy growth and forcing your body into a state of chronic fight or flight, even in safe environments. To deepen this, consider the concept of internalized shame, a term from psychoanalyst Donald Nathanson's work on affect theory. Shame isn't just embarrassment. It's a profound belief that you are inherently flawed, installed during youth when emotional abuse repeatedly signals, you are unworthy. This internalized script becomes a maladaptive schema, as described in Schema Therapy by Jeffrey Young, a rigid, cognitive framework that filters all experiences through the lens of defectiveness. For instance, if a child is constantly belittled, they're developing prefrontal cortex, responsible for self-regulation, adapts by prioritizing avoidance over authenticity. Neurologically, this manifests as altered connectivity in the default mode network, the brain's introspection hub, leading to rumination loops where self-criticism drowns out self-compassion. Metaphorically, think of emotional abuse as a slow-dripping poison in the well of your psyche. Each drop contaminates the water, making every sip taste of doubt. Over time, the well becomes undrinkable, and you wander thirsty, sabotaging opportunities for nourishment because you've learned to distrust the source, yourself. Philosophically, this echoes Friedrich Nietzsche's idea of the will to power. Twisted inward, instead of asserting vitality, the abused youth turns that power against themselves, creating a cycle of self-defeat. These principles aren't abstract. They're the blueprint of how your brain and heart were reshaped, turning survival into a lifelong battle against an invisible enemy within. But let's not shy away from the emotional cost. This is where the true weight of the hidden pain settles in, like a fog that never lifts. The profound price you pay is an invisible grief, a mourning for the self that could have been unscarred and unafraid. This grief manifests as a hollow ache, repetitive and relentless, echoing in quiet moments. The relationships you abandon before they can hurt you, the dreams you dismiss as unattainable, the joy you withhold from yourself as punishment. It's the sacrifice of authenticity for the illusion of safety, where every vulnerability feels like a betrayal waiting to happen. At its core, this pain is driven by the fear of reenactment, the terror that opening up will invite the same invalidation that scarred you in youth. Simple life moments become labyrinths. A compliment triggers suspicion. Success sparks imposter syndrome. Intimacy awakens panic. You become a prisoner of your own defenses, paying with chronic loneliness, exhaustion, and a pervasive sense of disconnection. Philosophically, this resonates with Carl Jung's concept of the shadow, the repressed aspects of the self that, when ignored, sabotage from the unconscious. Jung warned that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Here, the shadow is the abused child within, raging silently, demanding acknowledgement through self-sabotage. The emotional burden is immense. It's not just pain, it's the compounded interest of years spent gaslighting your own heart, convincing yourself that the abuse was not that bad, while your body screams otherwise in anxiety, depression, or somatic illnesses. This invisible grief compounds, turning inward like a black hole, pulling in light and leaving voids. You grieve the lost innocence, the unexpressed rage, the relationships fractured by walls you can't dismantle. And yet this pain carries a philosophical weight. It forces a confrontation with the human condition, the fragility of trust, and the cost of unmet needs. In the words of ancient Stoic Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters. But for the emotionally abused, interpretation was hijacked early, leaving a legacy of distorted self-perception. The true tragedy? This coping wasn't chosen, it was imposed, and now it demands a toll on every facet of your existence. As this hidden pain manifests in adulthood, it reveals itself not as quirks, but as deeply ingrained coping strategies masquerading as personality traits. You might find yourself in relationships where you preemptively pull away, fearing the echo of past abuse, turning potential love into isolation. Or in your career, you sabotage promotions by downplaying your achievements, that internalized voice whispering, "Who are you to succeed?" Boundaries become porous. You overgive to prove your worth, only to resent the exhaustion that follows. They become adults who second-guess every decision, trapped in analysis paralysis, because youth taught them that mistakes invite cruelty. You might notice chronic people-pleasing, where no feels like a weapon turned on yourself, leading to burnout in friendships and work. Internally, self-sabotage shows as procrastination on passions, or addictive behaviors to numb the ache, shopping, scrolling, substances as distractions from the void. In health, it manifests as neglecting self-care, punishing the body that once felt unsafe. Romantically, avoidant attachment reigns. You crave connection but bolt at vulnerability, recreating the abandonment you fear. Another symptom? Hyper-independence, where asking for help equals weakness, stemming from youth's lesson that needs are burdensome. Career-wise, this leads to underachievement, staying in safe but unfulfilling roles to avoid the risk of failure and the shame it evokes. Emotionally, there's the inner critic, a relentless monologue of self-doubt that amplifies small errors into catastrophes. Socially, you might isolate during stress, withdrawing into a fortress of solitude rather than seeking support. And in moments of potential joy like celebrations, an undercurrent of unworthiness sabotages the experience, leaving you detached. These aren't innate flaws, they're adaptive responses wired in youth, now outdated software crashing your adult system. The key to unlearning? Witnessing the pain without judgment, pausing in those moments of sabotage and tracing it back. This is the abused child speaking, not my true self. Through mindfulness practices like somatic experiencing, you begin to identify the pattern, interrupting the cycle before it spirals. It's not about erasing the past, but reprogramming the present, one compassionate observation at a time. This unlearning demands patience. It's a gentle excavation, revealing the authentic self buried beneath layers of defense. Finally, as we approach the path to wholeness, remember that healing isn't about fixing a broken you, it's about integrating the fragments into a stronger mosaic. The journey begins with inner child reparenting, a practice from John Bradshaw's work on family systems, where you consciously nurture the wounded youth within. Visualize that child. Speak to them with the kindness denied in abuse, affirming, "Your feelings are valid. You are safe now." This builds self-compassion, countering the sabotage with gentle boundaries and self-forgiveness. Incorporate shadow work, Jung's method of embracing the repressed parts. Journal the rage, the shame, transforming them from saboteurs into allies. Therapeutically, seek EMDR or schema therapy to reprocess those neural pathways, rewiring the brain toward trust. Practically, start small. Set one boundary a week. Celebrate micro wins without self-diminishment. Surround yourself with validating relationships that model healthy emotional exchange. Choose softness over armor. Allow vulnerability in safe spaces, recognizing that true strength lies in openness, not isolation. Philosophically, Viktor Frankl's logotherapy offers profound insight. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. For you, that space is the gap between the abuse's echo and your self-sabotage. Claim it, and freedom follows. Healing is non-linear, marked by setbacks, but each step affirms your worth. In closing, the hidden pain of emotional abuse in youth, with its cycle of self-sabotage, is not your destiny. It's a chapter in a story you're rewriting. You've survived the storm. Now thrive in the calm. If this resonates, share it with someone who needs to hear they're not alone, and subscribe for more paths to psychological depth. Remember, the goal isn't to be fixed, but to become whole, embracing the scars as proof of your resilience. You are worthy just as you are.